Hey guys, so I'm coming to you with a video sharing my tips for oily skin and to keep your face matte all day makeup wise. I know oily skin is definitely more of a skincare concern than a makeup concern. Well, I guess it depends. For me, it's a makeup concern because when I'm not wearing makeup, I don't mind if my skin looks oily or, you know, but when I'm wearing makeup, that's when it can come into play. And yeah, so I just want to show you my tips and let you know, like, just like what I do and just recommendations to really get that oily skin and at least have it somewhat under control. None of these things, these makeup things are going to help remove oily skin or stop your skin from being oily, but it's the appearance of it when you're wearing makeup. That's where I'm going with this, not so much the skin care side. Oily skin can be genetic. It's just caused by an excess, your body. You create excess oil, your body, your face, everywhere. It just needs natural oils and everything. And when you have oily skin, you just created an excess. However, that can start to clog your pores and cause acne and breakouts and different things like that. So usually people with oily skin have acne prone skin, but it's not always the case. I'm past the acne part so much with my face. Now it's more of just oily. I do have a glowy look on today, but I did not blot or anything. So this is like, and it's midday, it's about 2:15, 3:15, and yeah, so, alright, so the first thing I do to prep my skin is moisturize. Now, I know you didn't used to be afraid of moisturizer, but I didn't buy the best moisturizer for my skin at the time. I would use, acne medication moisturizer, and I like those because it did dry out my skin a little bit to help dry out the acne and things. However, when I didn't need that moisturizer, I was just using any moisturizer that I thought felt good, and they did feel good and make my skin feel good. But there are moisturizers that cater to oily skin. You can get moisturizers that are just oil free, and that'll help in itself. But the one I found that's my favorite is the L'Oreal Hydra Genius moisturizer, and this one is specifically, let's get in here, for oily skin. They have one for normal skin and dry skin. And this is the Hydra Genius. So it hydrates your skin, moisturizes, and it also allows that, what is the word I'm looking for? What am I looking for? Allows that moisture to penetrate, but it doesn't add that shine, or it helps with the matte of your face. Like once I'm done and I rub this in, my face is a little bit matter than when I started. Sometimes it's completely matte depending on how my face was before I put it on. But that definitely, because a lot of hydrating moisturizers, which we like, they give that glowy, dewy, beautiful, plump, and I don't want that. I want my face matte. I have oily skin. I guess the point of this, I should have said in the beginning, I like a matte face. And if I'm glowing, I want to add the glow. I don't want it to be coming from the grease and sweat on my face. I want to add the glow. So again, my matte face desires have come to this. Alright, also primer. You need a good primer. Primer can be underrated with some people. Some people don't use primer. Primer is a good tool as far any type of skin. Dry skin, they have hydrating primers that can help blend things together, things like that. I've said it before, I've said it a billion times. My favorite primer in the drugstore for oily skin is Rimmel Stay Matte. It's going to be my favorite primer of all time, you guys. Rimmel Stay Matte. I put this on generous amount. I put this on my skin before my makeup. It helps with the matte. I can tell a difference in primers when I don't use this. I have other mattifying primers that I like, but this one it stays matte. It helps my face stay matte as I would like it. So there's a level of matte. I am okay with blotting, but if I have to blot too early in the day or things like that, then my primer it's not doing, I'm not happy with it. If I have to blot later in the day, then we're doing good. I don't necessarily expect to not blot ever. Blot my skin, when I say blot, it means like blot the oil off, but sometimes I'm blotting earlier than others. This one is a late blotter. Alright, so that's the Rimmel Stay Matte. This one is an even later blotter, but it's not as high as the Rimmel Stay Matte in my category because it has some drawbacks. This is the Urban Decay De-Slick Complexion Primer. And this one was like it sucks. It almost just sucks the moisture out of your face. It makes it just so matte. And this is one where I don't blot until probably about the end of the day. However, this gives an ashy cast under your makeup. So if you want to do a lightweight makeup look, like if your skin's really decent, you don't like full coverage, but you like matte, this one's going to show through your makeup because it turns your face a little ashy. That primer. So that's something you need to know. I always use full coverage foundations. I love full coverage. And if I don't want to do full coverage, I cannot use this primer. So that's something that you should take into consideration. Also, we're on to foundation. I'm just going as I put on my makeup. I like full coverage. Get yourself, if you like full coverage like me, obviously you want matte finish foundations, oil-free foundations. Foundations that are labeled like long wear. They might not be, we got a trial and error, but long wearing foundations. That's what we want. BB creams and CC creams are okay, but again, I'm a full coverage person. So like long wearing, full coverage, and I have some favorites here. Drugstore, we already have the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte and Pro Glow. And I'm going to be honest with you, this Pro Matte, I mean, I actually like the Pro Glow a little bit better than the Pro Matte. The Pro Matte is matte. It's matte. But the Pro Glow is also matte, but it looks more natural. It's a more natural matte. This is a more cakey makeup matte. I don't mind either one. Perfect medium is I mix these two together. Since I've had both foundations, I've only worn them. And like after the initial review, I've only worn them together, mixed together, and it's perfect. That's a good one. Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Long Wear Liquid Foundation. The waterproof makes me happy because it doesn't say sweat proof, but when I am sweating or if I start to get oily, this one holds up really well after blots. Like, I have a lot of foundations that look, even after I blot, it still looks decent. But, what I'm trying to say is once I blot on this, I have less makeup on my blotter sheet or my sponge. You know, not as much comes off. Another one is the Fiona Styles Matte Finish Foundation Concentrate. This is wonderful. I discovered this last year. It has been my favorite foundation for a while. Again, long wearing. It is a matte finish, full coverage. This is a wonderful foundation. Wonderful. Again, just a suggestion. Queen, I'm going to tell you something. In my collection, and probably in a lot of people's collections that have the same taste as me, Queen Supreme of long wearing full coverage foundations is the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. Definitely matte finish, long wearing. This one can be built up kind of cakey and you have to be careful. Definitely blend this out with a wet sponge, but she's still there. That's wonderful. Those are my suggestions. Concealers, I don't have any concealers that are, I don't buy concealers based on my skin type. Probably should. I buy concealers on just how they feel and what I like and everything like that. The NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. It is a matte concealer and it's one of my favorites. So, I mean, yeah, I guess I can recommend it. But I'm not recommending it specifically for oily skin. I love this concealer. I think anyone could do well with this concealer. It's not overly drying or anything like that. So yeah, I don't have any concealer suggestions, but again, if you are really dry, you will want something a little bit more hydrating, a little hydrating concealer. I know MAC has some water weight called Water Weight or something. Yeah, things like that. Whew, L'Oreal has a Pro Glow concealer as well. Might be an option as well. Alright, and then this is where the matte face comes together. This is really what this is my crutch in makeup. I don't, I'm talking 99.9%. I have done it without it, but 99.9% of the time I'm wearing makeup, I set with powder. And I don't just set with powder like translucent to get everything together. I'm setting with a matte powder. A lot of times it's adding a little bit more coverage. A lot of times it's adjusting tone of my foundation and things like that. Powder is your friend. Powder, powder, powder. The Black Radiant Soft Focus Finishing Powder is a really nice one. This is Golden Almond Finish. This is the one I use under my eyes. Okay? Powder soaks up oil. Like, it makes you look matte. It soaks up oil. If you want like a soft finish type of powder, you still want to be matte, but you maybe want to be a little less flat because powder can flatten you out. This one is wonderful. This is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder. And it's a semi-matte situation, but it gives a little glow from within, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't, but that's okay. Favorite, all-time favorite matte powder, long-wearing blot late in the day powder is the Makeup Forever Duo Matte. This is a powder foundation, so a lot of times when I do wear this, I can wear it over makeup, over my foundation, whatever, but I'll do like a concealer, like spotting concealer, and then this will be my foundation for the day, and it's wonderful. So yeah, powders, you want, sorry, picking up things I dropped. You want your powders to be, to have a little bit of coverage. You have like Laura Mercier and the Makeup Forever HD powder. These powders set your makeup. These powders set your makeup, but they don't necessarily claim to just mattify everything. They just kind of set it to make it look maybe soft focus or airbrush. Beautiful powders. But another tip with those powders, put them on under your foundation, under your liquid foundation. That Laura Mercier translucent powder in deep, I'll take a sponge and I'll put that on underneath of my foundation and then put my foundation on. That's another tip that can help you add longevity to your matte situation. Alright, so again, powder products are your friend, and that goes with blush, highlight, contour. I cream contour very rarely because I'm lazy, but it's also adding another cream, something probably with oil in it or something that, again, can run if you're too oily or you sweat. Not saying powders can't, but they're not absorbent. So that's another thing. I like a powder contour, but I think cream contour looks better, but I'm lazy. I don't do it a lot. Also with cream blush looks really nice, looks really natural, really nice flush cheek. But again, these are these cream products. Now they have creams or powder products or cream products that set down matte, and you can shop for those. But this is just like general rules of thumb. Powders usually come first in those categories when you have oily skin. Like that's usually probably what you want to look at as far as suggestions go. MAC makes great powder blushes. Coastal Scents Forever blushes. Those are my two favorites. They really are. Wet n Wild makes really decent blushes. So yeah, powder blushes also will be your friend. Now say you do your powder contour or powder highlight. MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes. You guys know those are great. The Milani Strobe Light powders are great. Cover Effects. There's plenty of Becca, there's plenty of highlighters in that powder form. You have, again, liquid highlighters and cream highlighters, which are nice, but I think they don't do as well on matte skin unless you're topping these cream highlighters with powder highlight, and that's what I do with my cream highlighters. So that's another thing you might want to consider. But I will say this, with all that powder, you're putting powder products over powder products, full coverage, all these products, powder products on your face, you're stacking up. It can look a little cakey. And that's why I recommend for anyone who want to get rid of that cake and you want all those powder products to kind of melt together and make one complete face, you need some MAC Fix Plus. MAC Fix Plus. You don't have to get the big bottle. It's just $21 or $22. They have a small travel size for $10. It lasts you a long time. I'm finally pretty much done this Fix Plus, and I've had it for a very long time. But this setting spray, and you can find another setting spray of your choice. MAC Fix Plus is definitely my favorite. And it melts that face together. It melts it together, and it just allows all the layers to become one. And it takes away that powderiness and that cakiness. Takes it away, but leaves the matte. This sets and it dries down. Yes, when you spray it on your face, it'll be a little wet, but let it dry down. It doesn't add any finish to your face. It doesn't add any glow, any dewiness. That matte will still be there, but it won't look as thick or cakey or powdery, if you will. Alright, with that being said, that setting spray is not a fixing spray or a finishing spray to add longevity. Us oily skin people, our makeup does not last as long as normal skin people or dry skin people because, again, that oil will break it down, honey. It can break it down. And so I always recommend spraying over that Fix Plus or your setting spray, a finishing spray, a sealing spray, and by far the best, Ben Nye Final Seal Makeup Sealing Spray. I do recommend this one and any other finishing spray that you might like. Oh, Urban Decay All Night or Urban Decay De-Slick. Any one of those to add longevity to, but that's another tip. So it's kind of like how I'm giving it to you is like prep, phase, you know, like all the steps of your makeup and just suggestions and just tips to remember. This is why and this is how I've gotten the best matte face out of all of these. Again, I'll add my glow with my highlighter. I add my glow if I want it. Yeah, you know. And then finally, you're going throughout the day. You can take a compact with your powder in it, but I don't do that. I don't take a compact old school with the powder in it. I actually take just a blotter. This is the Blotting by Beauty Blender, the Pro version. I love this thing. People use oil blotting sheets. They're a lot cheaper. They're like little thin pieces of tissue paper, and you blot the oil, and they soak up the oil on the sheet. They're kind of messy. I like them. I mean, they do their job, but they're also kind of messy. You have to throw them away. You need a trash can for them. And my oil, like, I'll use 2 to 3 sheets doing my face to soak it up. It's just, it's oily. I recommend this Blotting. This is the Pro version. I have the regular version. It's in a white teardrop with 2 pink sponges in my purse. I keep it in my purse all the time. This is the Pro. And this comes with the black sponge, 2 black sponges. There's a piece of paper in here. I haven't used this one. And these are like, take a beauty blender and slice it. That's what it is. Take a beauty blender and slice it the long way, a little bit bigger, and you get these blotting sponges. And they're reusable. Say I'm oily, I blot that oil, I am matte instantly. So let me go ahead. I'm actually going to get the one out of my purse. Alright, so this is the one in my purse. It's worn down. I've had it for a long time. So all I do is I'm oily. I open it up. Again, you get 2 sponges. This one's dirty. I haven't washed it yet. You got a mirror. Let me get my life together. You got a mirror in here. This is ventilation because you can wet the sponge. You're going to wash these sponges and wet them. Put them back in here. The ventilation will help them dry and they shrink back down. And you're good to go. So, I'll just show you in the camera. I'm going to blot my face. I'm using the viewfinder. And there we go. And you see my highlighter here, right on the tip of the nose. That's highlighter. But even if I blot over that, it's matte, but you have that highlighter there. And it got rid of a lot of that shine. And this, you put it right back in the compact. You have both of them. You get 2. You put it right back in the compact, close it up, put it in your purse. When they get really dirty, I wash them just like I wash any beauty blender. They puff up like a beauty blender. So they get bigger. And then I just sit them on top of here. I sit them like this. I'll leave it open because I wash them at home like at night. And I leave them open, and then in the morning they shrink back down into their size. Close it up, pop it in the purse, and you're good to go. If you are oily, I cannot recommend that enough because it's reusable. You don't have to, you're not wasting, like even if you had a powder compact, you're not adding more product to your face. With the blotting sheets, again, they're just, you throw them out, but you might have to find a trash can or your purse is going to be filled with sheets. One sheet might not be enough for your oil. These things soak up, and yeah, you wash them whenever you see fit. They don't really need to be washed. This one doesn't need to be washed. I just used it, but I'll wash them since they're out. But yes, that's my tips. Those are my tips for and just recommendations for oily skinned people. Oily skinned makeup tips and recommendations. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in this video, feel free to leave them down below. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.